What's up, guys? Welcome to part 5. Sorry about that last video again. I really had to start keeping my eye on the time, but it cut me off again. So this is around where we were. I continued talking and no one was listening for a little bit, so it might be a little bit different, but I believe we just did this, and what I was trying to show you guys is that when you enter the float of an age of divided by 10, 55, and we divide 55 by 10, that's going to give us 5.5. And because we have the float, we're going to keep the decimal, and we're going to print out the 5.5. As you can see, we did. Now, if we wanted to take the 0.5, the remainder of 55 divided by 10, we would use this modulus or remainder expression. And I might be repeating myself. I can't remember if the video actually caught this part when I was explaining it, but basically what this does is going to say we're going to divide 55 by 10, and then we're going to return to you the decimal part, the 0.5. So instead of using 55, I'll use 56, and you'll see that it's actually going to return the 0.6, because 55 divided by, or 56 divided by 10 is going to be 5, remainder 6. So if we run it, we would have 6. And just to get rid of the 0.0, we can switch this to an integer, and then I'll cut off the decimal. And we have 6. So this is also a very useful algebraic expression. Another one is the exponent. So if we wanted to do an exponent expression, we could just do, Python has a really nice, simple, this is the symbol for exponent. So if we wanted to do age squared, then we just add in these. This is also multiplication, so we just think of it as double multiplication signs equals exponent. So if we run this and we do 5, then you'll see we get 25. 5 squared is 25. Those are pretty, I mean, besides multiplication, regular multiplication, and addition, subtraction, and all those, is pretty simple stuff. So 5 times 2 is 10, and that's pretty simple division, or pretty simple algebraic expressions. Now, in this part, I just want to finish up. That was pretty much part of the last tutorial. So in this tutorial, what I'm going to explain is the conditional statements, the if, the else if, and that's all the ones I'm going to go through right now. So basically what this does is it says if a condition, this is just all like pseudocode basically, if conditional statement, conditional means that it returns true or false, then we are going to then run this code, and then we are going to end the conditional statement. And the great thing about this is that you could run code only if something, a situation occurs to where this code is necessary to run. So so if we were to, I guess we don't even need this in, but if we were to run something along these lines, we could say that the name, let's get the name of the user. Name is equal to input, enter your name, and if, now we can do a conditional. This is our conditional. And we could say that if name is equal to, now for when you're comparing objects like this, what you want to use is the double equal sign. If you use a single equal sign, it's saying that you want to assign a value to this variable, but we don't want to assign it. We just want to compare it and determine if it's true or false. So if name is equal to, let's say, Joe, then we're going to run we're going to say, oops, that's Java, sorry, print your name is the same as Joe's name. Else, we can run an else statement. Now remember, to close, this is probably something I should have mentioned earlier, but Python runs off of a basic formatting, and it basically, what it says is that it's hard to explain, but the body of this conditional statement has to be indented in order for it to run. So Python reads these formats as, you know, whether or not to run this code and whether or not it's correct, or but I'm trying to think how to explain this. Basically, your formatting of your tabs and your spaces have to be correct in order for the Python to know where you want to end your if statement. So because we didn't indent this else, we know that we're not running this into the if statement. But if we wanted to run more, it would also have to be indented until we essentially end the if statement. And ending the if statement is just not indenting. So that's important to note. And so if we move to the else and we want to run everything inside this else little block of code, then we have to make sure it's all indented correctly. So if name is not equal to Joe, is what it's saying. So if name is equal to Joe, run this code. Else, if it's not, then we're going to print your name is not equal to Joe's. You're not cool. Alright, so let's see what happens. Enter your name, which is going to be assigned to the name variable. We'll first start off by saying it's Joe. And it's going to conditional. Once it runs into this conditional, it's going to say if name is equal to Joe, which it is in this case because we entered Joe, then we're going to print out your name is the same as Joe's, which is what happened. So now, in order to enter this else block, we have to enter a name that is not Joe. So we can enter Dylan. And that's obviously not a name, but it enters the else block right here. And it's going to say, your name is not equal to Joe's, you're not cool. So I'm not cool, but that's alright. And there's also the else if, which I told you I would cover. So really quickly, before we run out of time again, we're going to say else, and now it's basically this, but to shorthand it, we say elif name is equal to Dylan, and we're going to do all lowercase for now. Then we're going to say print you are cool. Thank you. And we'll smash all this together. Alright, so let's run this. And let's try Dylan. And it says, and enters, so test if name is equal to Joe, it's not. Then it says, is name equal to Dylan? It is, so it's going to print you are cool. And then it never checks, it never enters the else block. So if, now, let me just show you something. It entered the else block here because I entered a capital D. And when you compare these variables, it's all case sensitive. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but right now I'm out of time, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like to support these tutorials. Thanks.